And action.
You're listening to Long Take, and Justyn and Ken are, I'm talking about myself in the third person now. Ken and I, we're going to be chit-chatting now about, I just said chit-chatting, what the hell's going on right now? We're going to have a discussion about the coming year. 2015 has some interesting movies to offer, and Ken and I are going to talk about them for you. Ken, what's exciting you this year?
Right, well, what's different about this year as opposed to last year, I guess, is that last year, what made 2014 such a strong year was that the months that were typically dry, typically are lacking in great movies, were not. I mean, 2014 had a lot of carryovers from like the film festivals of 2013. With 2015, I don't know. It feels like there's going to be some great movies coming out this year for sure, but it's probably going to be. I don't see many great movies coming out in the first few months. You know what I mean? And I guess the question, before I really get into it, is, Justyn, I asked you this before through text. I wonder if you had any more time to think about it. What's the first 2015 movie you're going to see in theaters?
I have no idea.
None?
That's what's weird. The other day I was with my girlfriend and we were talking about maybe going to the movies, and I was looking at the list of movies. Like, I was like, I don't want to see that. There's really nothing that I want to see.
You don't want to see
right
SpongeBob?
Now. Not really, no.
Kingsman's not bad. I thought it was pretty good.
That's with our friend from the King's Speech. What's his
Colin
name?
Firth.
Isn't there some connection between that and X-Men First Class?
Yeah, the director of X-Men First Class.
Same director?
Directed that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, nah, I mean, pass. Maybe I'll wait for that to come out, on the old...
I assume you're gonna be storming to the theater to see Hot Tub Time Machine 2.
That looks good. I liked Hot Tub Time Machine.
I did too. A lot of people are ragging on it. I'm like, I thought it was hilarious, but think about Will Smith is back with Focus, and
yeah, not interested at all.
And then there's Chappie.
Yeah, that's our friend from District 9. Oh, I keep doing that for some reason. I'm saying that's our friend from this and that. That's
we have a lot of celebrity friends. Let's just get that clear.
If I liked a movie like District 9, then that guy's my buddy. Neil Blomkamp. Neil Blomkamp. Right, There you go. This is his third one.
Yeah.
So he made District 9, and then he made
Elysium, which was really uneven. That was kind of a big, in my opinion, that was kind of a drop in quality for me.
Yeah, kind of a letdown because I had some high hopes. District 9 was such a fun movie.
If you see Chappie and I see Chappie, I think that might be the first 2015 movie we talk about.
Could be.
He has an interesting career going on because he's got like 3 movies. District 9 had a smaller budget, but it felt like a big budget movie. And so he has an interesting career going on, because he makes his own scripts. He directs from his own scripts, and he makes these big budget, high concept sci-fi films. And it's just kind of interesting to see like how much longer he can pull this off. Because who's going to see Chappie? I don't even know. It's very at this point. Yeah. It might be a disaster. It might be great. I don't know. It could literally be a disaster. I have no idea. It feels like a sci-fi, like a harder sci-fi take on E.T. almost. That's what I get the feel. It's not gonna have that Spielberg like emotion to it, obviously.
His movies look kind of like District 9 was kind of dirty and gritty looking. This seems like it's a return to that because Elysium had that in the beginning, but then you had that other world where everything was like clean and shiny and nice.
Yeah, I think Chappie will be interesting in that. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation. I think that I'm not sure how good of a movie it's going to be, but I think it's going to be interesting to talk about for sure. So yeah. But let's overall to talk about 2015 again. Not too crazy about the first half of the year, but when you look about what could be up for Oscars, what could be up for to be in like next year's top 10 list or whatever. We already kind of have a verdict on Terrence Malick's Night of Cups in that it's mixed reviews. So that's really the only verdict we have. Is like I feel like that's
what you would expect, wouldn't you?
Yeah, every single one of his movies kind of get mixed reviews at the beginning, but I feel like it's getting more contentious. And I feel like there's always that every time a movie comes out now, there has to be a think piece about like. Why does he do what he does? And it's like because that's his,
that's his style.
That's just what he does. Can we just accept it? You know.
If you don't like it, you can go watch something else.
Exactly. I might not like Knight of Cups. You know, I might not, but it's just I know what I'm getting into. You know, it's not going to be a surprise to me. You know, maybe because it was kind of surprised me. To the Wonder that was way abstract. But now that I've seen To the Wonder and I've seen like him going this extreme abstract way, I don't see how Knight of Cups will surprise me that much. But that might be a good thing, you know, because it was almost too out there. To the Wonder was like too out there, and maybe Knight of Cups. Maybe I won't be as like surprised and kind of turned off. You know what I mean? So because I love Tree of Life and I love every other one of Malick's movies, but it seemed like To the Wonder was like going too far in that abstract direction there. I just couldn't. It was so light and it was like floating. It was almost like I felt like it was going to float away. That movie, I thought that was going to float away into the sky because To the Wonder is just so. Yeah, I would say that's the weird word to describe it. Is floaty, you know, because like everyone's just kind of like wandering around and like walking around and you know kind of lost in this world. And there's a lot of voiceovers and all that stuff. And
well, yeah, I'm going to make it a point to get adequately caught up with Terrence Malick before I see Knight of Cups, because I've seen Thin Red Line, I've seen Badlands. Actually, Thin Red Line was the first of his movies that I've seen. Then I went back and I learned that he took that long hiatus, and you know I went back to his movies of the '70s, Badlands and Days of Heaven. I've seen kind of recently. So yeah, I think now I'm in a unless there's something else that I'm missing from that time. I think I'm going to move forward and check out Tree of Life.
Yeah, of his first before Tree of Life, Days of Heaven was always my favorite Malick film because I feel like it perfectly combined like an actual like story with like a poetic approach, and like Badlands is also I think a really great film, but the story is almost too simple. Whereas like Days of Heaven, I think there's a little bit more going on, but it's even more poetic than Badlands, and I really that's the movie that kind of was like, yeah, I'm a Malick fan, you know. And
I've seen Days of Heaven, yeah.
But yeah, Tree of Life for me is like him at his wildest stylistically. And just him throwing everything on the wall and seeing what sticks. And I really love that approach. So, yeah. All right, so moving on from Malick, I'm definitely excited about Knight of Cups. But I think the big three at this point, for me, one is obviously Star Wars, The Force Awakens. From a blockbuster standpoint, that's really the only blockbuster film that I'm excited about. Avengers 2, sure. I'm gonna.
Ultron. Yeah, I mean, I'll see it, but
I'm not excited about it.
I hear it's going to be really long. That's actually kind of exciting to me. Is I hear Avengers has like a running time of 3 hours.
Really? Fuck.
Yeah. But what's the longest? I guess Nolan's Batman movies are the longest superhero movies that we have.
Probably,
right?
Yeah. I would say so.
So like these movies, you know, they're all about making money, right? That's the whole idea. Like, get butts in the seats. These Marvel, you know, the people eat this shit up. So now you're going to challenge this audience with a 3-hour movie, or do you think people are going to go for that?
I just wonder if it's just like one long, extremely long, like mini series. Because just as Joss Whedon we're talking about, we're not talking about cinematic director Christopher Nolan. We're talking about TV director Joss Whedon, who he directed The Avengers was a well-made film, but like for 3 hours. I mean, you can't for a lot of like 3-hour movies. If they're wildly uneven, at least they're not blockbusters. You know, they're like there's an artistic intent, like they're trying to do something big, and they falter. You kind of understand that. Even if you wasted 3 hours of your time, you're like, oh, at least they tried something. But this is a blockbuster film. You know, it's a superhero blockbuster film, and it's like, do we really need 3 hours of this story? Do we really need it? Do we? Really?
Right, you don't. And the fact that they're doing that is risky, and that risky aspect of it is what is kind of intriguing.
It is. Okay, I will say it's a little bit intriguing, but my butt is going to be numb, for sure.
Maybe intermission.
You know, and like, you know, it gets a point, like, I feel like with action scenes in particular, it's like, there is a point where it can be too many, or too much, or too long.
Superman movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we get it. These guys are really strong, and they're
exactly
shit out of each other, and they're not hurting each other.
But I will say this: I was going to say Star Wars is the only blockbuster, But Mad Max Fury Road looks pretty goddamn awesome. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for
Hardy.
that.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron is shaved. She got that Natalie Portman from V for Vendetta look, and Nicholas Hoult, who I don't normally like, but he looks pretty cool in this movie. Zoe Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Yeah.
Whatever. Riley Coe. I'm just looking at the names. All right, no one else.
Cooper from the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, but yeah, I think it's George Miller who directed I think all the other Mad Max films.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, George Miller, and you know what's funny? George Miller was nominated he won an Oscar, didn't he? I think he's an Oscar winner, but you would not believe what he won an Oscar for. Right? This is the guy. What?
Hit me.
Okay. I thought you were going to say it, and it was going to steal my thunder. All right.
No.
So this is the guy who directed Mad Max, Road Warrior, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And what did he win an Oscar for? What was it for? Best Animated Feature Film of the Year, Happy Feet.
Really?
And he wrote the script for Babe, the pig.
No. This guy has a soft side.
He directed Babe, Pig in the City. This is the same guy. It's like he was like Robert Rodriguez before Robert Rodriguez. Because Robert Rodriguez does like these crazy violent films, and then he makes Spy Kids.
Yeah.
for his children. Yeah. But it looks like he's back, like Mad Max form, George Miller. It looks like he's back, and yeah.
So wait, you said that there were 3 that you're excited about. Are those your 2, Star Wars and Mad Max?
No, Mad Max was the one that I forgot about. But no, the other 2 are Alejandro González Iñárritu's The Revenant.
With Leo DiCaprio.
And Tom Hardy, by the way.
And Tom Hardy? Are you kidding?
No,
I didn't know
I'm not. There's no joke. No joke.
That's
I am not
sick.
joking at all.
That is exciting.
I know.
That's exciting.
Thank you. I came up with the idea. I'm like, hey, guys. You guys should really get together and make a movie. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, man, I love Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy is probably like... I think Joaquin Phoenix is my favorite working actor right now, but Tom Hardy is like... Right underneath him as far as like newer guys that are coming up and like getting all this work. He can do stuff like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and then he could be the bad guy in a Batman movie, and then he could sit in a car for 2 hours, or an hour and a half. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He could sit in a car and just look at him.
Did you see that yet?
Yes.
Okay. Is it on your list?
Mm-hmm.
It was an honorable mention for me. So
if I said it now, that would be a massive spoiler for my top 5. Ken.
Okay. I think it was like number 11 for me too. It was like really close, but I was like, I can't quite do it. I was like, ugh.
It didn't make your list?
It just barely missed it.
Okay, then I can admit that it didn't make mine either. It just missed it.
Oh, fuck. All right, never mind.
If it was on your list, then I didn't want to reveal if it was on mine.
But you know what? If we're gonna be doing like, if we're gonna be orally describing these films, we're talking about like the films. Obviously, Star Wars. We kind of know what it's gonna be. It doesn't really matter what it's about. The Terrence Malick film, it's going to be Terrence Malick. But The Revenant, I feel like I should divulge a little bit on the synopsis.
Yeah.
In the 19th century, fur trapper Hugh Glass is mauled by a bear while hunting. His companions rob him and leave him to die, but he survives and sets out to get revenge on the men who betrayed him. So it's kind of a revenge film.
And I imagine that DiCaprio is going to play this guy who was left to die, and Hardy's going to be one of the guys that robs him and leaves him, or maybe he's the bear.
Tom Hardy, he could play a bear. I am convinced. The other undeniable film is, alright, I'm taking over, okay. We're talking about The Hateful Eight, which is funny because it's the 8th film of my filmography, and it is The Hateful Eight. So, alright, okay, alright, oh my god. But yeah, so Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight I feel like that's pretty obvious, right?
Yeah,
it's like,
is that coming around Christmas time, I guess? December?
I think they moved the date to November 13th, actually. So that's...
They moved it up? Cool.
Yeah, moving on up. You know why? 'Cause Star Wars is coming out on Christmas.
Who wants
or
to
around
compete with Star Wars?
I know.
Can be with Star Wars.
Yeah.
Hateful Eight, let's just recap. I know Sam Jackson's in it. I've kind of been so focused on this year that I have intentionally...
Okay.
Tarantino, I want to see that. I don't need to know.
Here's the cast. Here's the cast.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Samuel L. Jackson.
Right. That's the one I knew.
Tim Roth is back in Tarantino land. Guess who else is back? Guess who else is back? I'm not even done. I'm not done, yo. Michael.
Hold on. Harvey Keitel?
No. Michael fucking Madsen.
Yeah, since Kill Bill
Volume 2. Or Volume 1. Yeah, both.
He was in both of them, but he had more of a part in 2.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
For Death Proof.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins. He was in Django Unchained.
Who are you playing Django Unchained?
One of the evil plantation people.
Okay.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, who was never in a Quentin Tarantino film, but she's in this.
From back in like the early 2000s or late 90s, she was in like a movie with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yeah, wasn't it like kind of like The Taming of the Shrew or something like that? Like based on that, like let's get this girl, take her to the prom, even though she's a geek.
Okay, you're thinking of Rachel Lee Cook.
Okay.
Jennifer Jason Leigh, her heyday was in the early 90s when she was in Single White Female. She was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High in the early 80s.
Okay, she was in The Machinist.
Come on, you grew up in the early 90s. She was like in every movie in the early 90s, and then she kind of fell off. Kind of like Madeline Stowe. Remember Madeline Stowe? She was like in everything in the early 90s. She was in like that movie where she's blind. Anyway, but Jennifer Jason Leigh, Bruce Dern from Nebraska.
Cool.
Fame.
He was in Django, right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Demian Bashir. The Channing Tatum's also in this movie. Channing Tatum, yeah. I thought Jennifer Lawrence was also going to be in this one, but apparently, I guess not. There's rumors that she was going to be in The Hateful Eight, but I don't think she is anymore. So,
cool.
But now she's filming Joy, the next David O. Russell film, which people kind of give David O. Russell a lot of flack, but I've liked his last few movies.
Me too.
And yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one too. Not as excited, but it looks pretty good. I don't know.
Are you excited about the Cameron Crowe movie?
Aloha. Yeah, I've seen the trailer for Cameron Crowe's Aloha. I mean, I hate to judge a movie based on its trailer, but I'm not quite feeling the trailer, at least. But I will
That's
see
how I
it.
felt when I watched the Judd Apatow trailer.
The
Trainwreck.
There's another. I mean, we're kind of okay. So yes, Judd Apatow also has a movie coming out in 2015, Trainwreck. And also kind of not feeling that one either. Yeah, you're right.
Back to Aloha, but we'll go to the Trainwreck.
Yeah.
So you're not that impressed? It's got a great cast.
It's got a great cast.
Emma Stone's on fire right now. I love Emma Stone.
I don't know. Crowe's been kind of. I mean, he doesn't really make that many movies to begin with, but he's been kind of off.
What's the last thing that he's done? It's been a while since he made a movie.
We Bought a Zoo with Matt Damon.
Oh, really? He made that? I didn't know he was attached to
Yeah, I don't know. It was all okay. You know what I mean? But like. There was nothing to write home about. Mm-hmm. Nothing to write to the zoo about either. You know what I mean? And then before that, he made Elizabethtown, which was just ugh. It was like a Garden State. It's almost
wannabe, yeah.
It's almost offensive that Cameron Crowe. This is Cameron Crowe we're talking about. Yeah, he basically invented the Garden State type of movie. You know what I mean?
That's true.
And then here he is like making a movie that's like sub that. It's like below that level. So it's just
that'll be great.
Who knows? Maybe this trailer was just bad. Maybe it's a hard sell for a studio. Anyway.
So wait. We were talking about the movie, and then we were gonna go off and talk about
Judd Apatow's Trainwreck. Yeah, it's gonna. It's kind of cool that Judd Apatow's kind of like championing these like young female comics, or young. Well, I wouldn't really call Lena Dunham a comic, but young female writer actresses and stuff like that.
Yeah, female creativity.
But what I'm worried about, because like Amy Schumer, like what she's notable for is like her overt sexuality and like her show Inside Amy Schumer, and like it's just like her overall like dirtiness, like and all that stuff. And not that she can't make a romantic comedy. The Red Band trailer just felt really clean. You know what I mean? Like just felt really. Yeah. It's kind of like your average rom-com, and I'm looking for the.
Maybe that's what they're trying to fool people into. Hey, let's go see that.
Maybe I hope he's fooling us.
That'd be a great pull the rug from under the audience.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like Apatow since The 40-Year-Old Virgin, his films, first of all, they've kind of dropped in quality with each movie. And they got more and more serious too. With 40-Year-Old Virgin, was it like Steve Carell that was bringing the raunchiness to that script? Because he wrote that movie with Steve Carell, and up until in Trainwreck, he wrote his own scripts, and there was like no raunchiness at all. Knocked Up barely any raunchiness in Knocked Up, and then Funny People, the stand up material was raunchy, but the movie itself wasn't raunchy.
And didn't those guys write their own stand-up material?
I think so. And then this is 40 with there's no raunchiness at all. It's basically a James L. Brooks film. This is 40. So Trainwreck, I just wonder if it's going to be interesting to watch just to see how that dynamic is played out. You know, like just what Amy Schumer brought to the movie and what Judd Apatow brings to the movie. Because I feel like he's a lot cleaner than we think he is.
I guess he's trying to appeal to women when it says from the guy who brought you Bridesmaids instead of the guy that brought you 4-Year-Old Virgin, like all these Knocked Up, like the movies that he's really famous for. Like he's a producer on Bridesmaids. He didn't even direct or maybe did he help with the writing of that one? I don't even think he wrote it.
Bridesmaids? No, he didn't write that. No, Kristen Wiig co-wrote that.
Right. Yeah, so he was a producer, not just a producer.
And that movie was raunchier than the last few movies Apatow has made. So
yeah, it's got women shitting in sinks.
Mm-hmm. And you know, and since then, Paul Feig made that movie with Paul Feig directed Bridesmaids, and then the last movie he made was with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock, right? The Heat,
the cop movie.
Yeah, and so that was nothing to write home about, right? So I wonder if much of the talent behind Bridesmaids was thanks to Kristen Wiig and the script she wrote with I can't remember who she wrote it with, but it seems like that was really Kristen Wiig's project. You know what I mean? So here's some of the Sundance films that I'm interested in, right? Because hey, last year Boyhood came out of Sundance, and you know what I mean. A year before that it was Fruitvale Station, which was a great film. Year before that, Beast of Southern Wild. So you never know what's going to really pop out. But first of all, Noah Baumbach's Mistress America. Noah Baumbach has 2 movies coming out this year: Mistress America, which premiered in Sundance, and While We're Young, which premiered in Toronto. So Baumbach, who I really liked, I always really enjoyed him. I discovered him when he co-wrote Life Aquatic with Wes Anderson, which is funny because that movie was my least favorite Wes Anderson movie at the time. But then I was like, who is this Noah Baumbach character? And then I wound up watching The Squid and the Whale, like it came out months later, and I loved that film, and I was like, wow, I actually like this guy. So then I went back and saw he made Kicking and Screaming, which is not the Will Ferrell movie. And then I even caught his second movie, Mr. Jealousy, on HBO one time, and I was like, this is a kind of interesting guy, kind of interesting filmmaker. But I would say right now is he is really, both him and Wes Anderson, they're not making the same projects, but they're both on fire because Francis Ha was a really great change of pace for him, Baumbach. And before that, I watched Greenberg. The second or third, and I've watched it 3 times, and it's a really funny movie. The more you watch it, the more of the humor comes out in it. So he's in an interesting time in his career. And now he has 2 movies coming out this year, so it's going to be interesting to see. I heard great things about both movies, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to both Mistress America and While We're Young. While We're Young comes out in March, late March. So
we got Amanda Seyfried, Naomi Watts, Ben Stiller, Adam Driver. Oh yeah, I saw the. This is the one where the older, the young hipsters, and then the old guys who are trying to be cool again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Looks like a pretty good film. I'm
interested. It looks interesting. I like that. He's that's the audience that he's going for, and I think he's executing with that. What's Mistress America about though? And is that back with the girl from Francis Ha?
Yeah, I think it's going to have more of a. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think While We're Young is going to maybe be more like Greenberg because it's from his script. Noah Baumbach wrote that, and Noah Baumbach wrote, or at least co-wrote with Jennifer Jason Leigh. Actually, that was his ex-wife. He co-wrote Greenberg with Jennifer Jason Leigh, and it feels like more of a Baumbach, your typical Baumbach film. Whereas Francis Ha felt like some Baumbachness, right? Some of his style, but I feel like Greta Gerwig injected her personality and sense of humor all over that film. Yeah. And so Mistress America for me, I think is going to be closer to Francis Ha. So I think it's going to be interesting. They're going to get 2 sides of Noah Baumbach in 1 year. So it's going to be really cool. Another Sundance movie, The End of the Tour, directed by James Ponsoldt, who did The Spectacular Now. and Smashed. Obviously, the more famous one is Spectacular Now with what's
Miles
her
Teller and
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley. Yeah.
And so, what end of the tour is going to be interesting because Jesse Eisenberg and Jason Segel are in it, and Jason Segel plays David Foster Wallace, the famous author. So basically, Jason Segel, it's like his first more dramatic role. It'll be interesting to see Jason Segel in this different kind of
right. I don't
movie.
think I've seen him do drama since Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, it seemed like Jason Segel was the better dramatic actor out of all of them in that show.
Yeah, because his character went through all that problem, especially the episode where he tried to be a drummer and he wanted to try out, and it turned out that he was really bad, and then he was embarrassed. And he really had to.
Yeah, I would say he definitely stretched himself in that role. So yeah, it would be interesting to see that movie and see just what Jason Segel's like in that movie. Other than that, I guess.
Have you completely given up on Spike Lee? Because he's got a movie coming out.
Have I given up on him? Not really. I mean, Spike Lee's always been kind of uneven, at least in the last at least since the mid-'90s, has been kind of uneven. He sometimes makes a great movie, sometimes he doesn't. I don't know. I mean...
He's got a trailer out. I think... What is it called? The Sweet Blood of Jesus or something like that?
Is that what it is? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard that many great things about it at this point, but, and I haven't seen that, or I haven't seen Red Hook Summer, which I actually heard was pretty good. But I haven't seen Old Boy either, and I heard that was not very good at all. The remake. So, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't really given up on Spike Lee, but at the same time, I'm not going to be rushing out to see The Sweet Blood of Jesus. Now, Martin Scorsese is shooting Silence, but I don't think Silence is going to come out this year. It seems like a big undertaking, and he's starting to shoot now. I think he finished shooting Wolf of Wall Street in January of 2013, and they barely made it to the end of the year. They really barely made the final cut before the film came out. And so since he's starting the shoot for Silence right now, I would say that's definitely a 2016 movie. So
Adam Driver is turning into such a he's going to be a star in a couple of years.
Yeah, well,
I really I was introduced to him watching Girls, like a lot of people were, but to see him kind of just very slowly just be bigger in these movies, from a small scene in Inside Llewyn Davis, and now he's going to be in the Star Wars movie. He's going to be we saw him in he's in Noah Baumbach's movie, the one you just mentioned, Young People or something like that, and now he's going to be in a Scorsese movie, one of three, where it seems like the movie's going to be about these three priests, right?
Mm-hmm. We're kind of all over the place. Let me get this back on the road,
steer the
right?
ship. Okay.
So this month we already had Kingsman come out. I already saw it. I vouch for it. I think it's a solid film. Hot Tub Time Machine 2. That's probably the first 2015 movie that I'll see in the year 2015. I hope it's really good. I hope it's at least funny. And then this one is a carryover from last year. David Cronenberg's Maps to the Stars. David Cronenberg is basically the Canadian version of David Lynch. And Maps to the Stars has a great cast. You should check that out. And it's a searing indictment of L.A. and Hollywood. It's like a satire type feel to it. And it stars Julianne Moore, who's probably going to get an Oscar in next Sunday. Maya Wasikowska, who
I've fallen in love with seeing her. I love her. She was also in The Only Lovers Left Alive.
John Cusack, who desperately needs to get his career back on track. Robert Pattinson.
That's funny is John Cusack's the only actor that we didn't name when we were talking about Hot Tub Time Machine.
Because he's not in it. I don't think he's in it.
No way, really?
I don't think. I think he either had a prior commitment, or he couldn't be in the film, or they wrote him off, or he didn't want to be in it. But he's not in it. He's not going to be in Hot Tub. Let me just make sure. He may have a bit role, but he's not one of the main.
You're right. I don't see him. Wow,
yeah. Nope. Yeah. So John Cusack, Robert Pattinson is also in Maps to the Stars. Sarah Gadon, who was in Enemy last year, another Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Carrie Fisher has a cameo in it from Star Wars fame. So it's an interesting cast. It's probably the first serious film that comes out this year that I'm going to be interested in seeing. In March, honestly, the only films that I care about is Chappie and While We're Young. I don't really see. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. which is not very reliable. So yeah, because what, Cinderella, Kenneth Branagh, Cinderella, I don't know. When Kenneth Branagh doesn't make a Shakespeare film, I'm not interested. Thor, I didn't think he did a good job with Thor. He's a great Shakespearean actor, and like he makes some other films where he's just an actor where I think he's pretty good. But I don't think he's a very interesting director, and Cinderella doesn't look very interesting to me. So I'm not really interested in that. Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, I might see that, but I have a feeling that's not going to be a very good movie. So really, yeah, While We're Young and Chappie, that's really the only ones I'm interested in March. And then April comes along. Furious 7? I don't know. I mean, if you want to look at what's coming out in April, that month is going to be very lacking too. But yeah, because really, it seems like April has nothing, man, except for the 7th Fast and Furious movie. That's really
Furious 7. Hey, Paul Blart, Molotov 2.
Exactly. Like, what the hell? Come on.
Unfriended little.
Age of Adeline, Rock the Casbah. Barry Levinson made that. I don't know.
Ford.
I don't know. It doesn't look good. That month.
Child 44 is Tom Hardy, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Child 44. Child 44.
That's isn't he a Russian soldier?
A disgraced member of the military police investigates a series of nasty child murders during the Stalin-era Soviet Union. Right, so yeah.
So about like 43 children have been murdered, and they're trying to find the 44th. It's got an interesting trailer. You know, like I said,
I might see it. Yeah, I don't want to. I wasn't trying to write it off. I kind of overlooked it, but yeah. I might see that. Yeah. So, and Daniel Espinosa directed it. He's a Swedish filmmaker, but I haven't seen any of his other films, so I'm not really sure. Oh, he made Safe House. I didn't know that. Which is an okay movie. I don't know. So that's why I wasn't really quite. It didn't catch my eye, even though Tom Hardy's in it. It didn't really catch my eye because I didn't know the director too well. But hey, I don't have to know every director, do I? I kind of do.
In May, you've got your Avengers movie or Mad Max.
Okay, yeah, going into May. Yeah, Avengers 2. Yeah, you know, obviously that's kind of obvious one to see. Pitch Perfect 2.
Did you see Pitch Perfect?
I thought it was pretty enjoyable. I'm not going to hate on that movie at all, but I'm not really interested in seeing the sequel. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't really feel the need to see the sequel. I feel like I got everything.
What's this Brad Bird Disney movie?
Tomorrowland. Yeah, the trailer gives nothing away, which is sometimes a smart move, but not when you don't know what the movie's about.
Well, no, I'm just asking here because I guess it's based on the Magic Kingdom area, but it's like it's funny how like they get inspiration from their parks now, like with Pirates of the Caribbean, and then they tried with Haunted Mansion, so now they're trying with Tomorrowland. And I imagine Brad Bird, since he's from the Pixar fame, it's going to be CGI. We've got George Clooney and Hugh Laurie.
No, it's not animated.
It's not animated?
No.
Oh
no. Right. You haven't seen the trailer for it?
No, I haven't. This is the first time that I'm hearing about it, actually. Tomorrowland. Yeah, Michael Key, Judy Greer, Tim McGraw. Okay, yeah, I guess because it's Brad Bird, I just assumed that it was going to be animation.
Yeah, but the last film he made was Mission Impossible 4.
Ghost Protocol. Oh, yeah.
Well, wrapping up May, you have Spy, Paul Feig directed. Now I'm just listening. Maybe I don't want to see Spy really.
Let's not talk about it.
I don't want to see San Andreas with The Rock.
It's another disaster movie about the San Andreas Fault in California. I thought it was a Grand Theft Auto movie.
Yeah, me too. I
we got Entourage coming out in June. I like the show. I don't know if it's going to translate to a movie, but I know that they've been expecting this to, like, this has been inevitable that they're going to make a movie.
But it's funny, though. I saw a tweet one time, because, the running joke these days is how, like, every movie gets split up into 2 parts, every blockbuster. And so I read a tweet that was like, Entourage Part 1, Vince don't get movie. Entourage Part 2, Vince gets movie. Because, like, that's not really the only dramatic, like, aspect of the show.
The first half of the season is him struggling with not having work, or how am I going to fix my image, and then the second half is, or maybe like the second, third, or quarter, is him finding success and everything that comes with it, or
Yeah, so I don't know. I might skip it. I might see it just because I'm curious, but
Exactly. I want to know how it ends.
I must know how it ends.
Well, I like like I said, I like the show, and just because of the characters, because it's Ari and those guys. Yeah, I want to see what happens. Just out of curiosity.
So here's what I'll say. In June, the movies that I'm interested in are Love and Mercy, which is the Beach Boys biopic.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this. Paul Dano was in it.
Paul Dano and John Cusack again. And Paul Giamatti and Elizabeth Banks. Yeah.
Atticus Ross is doing the music. That's cool.
That's pretty damn cool. So yeah, I definitely want to see Love and Mercy. Inside Out, the first Pixar movie since 2013. That's gonna be interesting to see how that works.
Is this the one about the feelings or whatever?
Yeah, it's about feelings.
Amy Poehler, love her. So yeah, this will be one to see. I love Pixar movies.
That's interesting voice cast overall. Amy Poehler, Louis Black, Mindy Kaling, Bill Hader, Diane Lane, Kyle MacLachlan, John Ratzenberger, of course. He's always in Pixar movie.
Louis Black is playing the emotion anger. It's like that's going to be awesome.
I would assume so.
How is he going to control like his language though?
Well, I'm sure he's reading from a script.
yeah, but like even on like his segments on the Daily Show, it's all out of bleeps.
That's true, but I'm not worried. I'm not too worried about that. But other than that, like Jurassic World,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Again, curiosity more than anything else. Yep. And then Ted 2, I don't know. Maybe I'll see that. I don't know. I'm not really a big Seth MacFarlane fan, but
I liked Ted was good, but nothing. Like I don't like it as much as a lot of people.
Again, like Pitch Perfect, I'm not really desiring to see the story continue. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like I got everything I needed to get out of Ted.
Exactly.
But moving on to July, I enjoy Magic Mike. I gotta say, and I probably
but this one doesn't have the same director. It's not what's his name?
It's not Steve Soderbergh. No, Steve Soderbergh. But he shot it and he produced it, so it's almost like it is his movie. It's kind of weird.
He shot it. He worked on it, but he doesn't have the director credit.
He shot it. He edited it, but he didn't direct it. Gregory Jacobs directed it, and Gregory Jacobs has been. He's been involved in a lot of Soderbergh films, so I feel like it's basically going to be a Soderbergh movie, just not in his name.
A surrogate Soderbergh movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I wouldn't worry too much about that aspect of it.
Yeah, because that's what my initial reaction when I heard about it. Oh, Magic Mike, but Soderbergh's not it. I don't see his name anywhere. So.
Here's the thing about Magic Mike XXL. If it's going to be called Magic Mike XXL, where's the penises? We got to see some penises in this film. It's male strippers. I said this like a couple years ago when Magic Mike came out. People thought I was joking, and I was half joking, but I was half serious because hey, look, all right, this is for the women. Give the women what they want. They want penises. They want to see dongs. They want to see Channing Tatum's dong. Matthew McConaughey's not in this movie, unfortunately, but they want to see Joe Manganiello's dong. This is a weird
Kevin
cast.
Nash, the wrestler.
He was in the first one.
Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I wonder who's.
I only saw a little bit of the first
I wonder who of these people are going to get naked. Is Matt Bomer? Wasn't he in Normal Heart? So is he going to get naked? I'm not sure. You look at a cast, you're like, whose dong am I going to see? Donald Glover? Am I going to see his dong?
Donald Glover's in it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't think he's going to play a stripper. I'd be really surprised.
I always think of Jamie Glover when I see Donald Glover, just because of the last name. And Michael Strahan's in it. Hope I don't see his dong. You know
what? It'd be weird if he has a dong and it's a big gap, and it's between his balls. His big gap right there. I don't know. That was going to turn really weird. Whatever I was going to say. But
I'm going to help you segue real quick.
But seriously though, I'm serious. I mean, you can't. So penises aren't very attractive to us, obviously. But I would say, I've seen that video where like women react to dick pics. I think just a picture of a dick alone isn't very attractive. But in a movie, I think you could kind of like make penises look sexy. I don't know how you do that. 'Cause it's like hairy. It's like having a movie about like vaginas. It's like it's not going to be that. What? Am I too loud? You know what I mean? Like it's like because like boobs are attractive, right? But the vagina, right, Christina? You don't just want to see close-ups of vaginas, basically. So
that's not what you said last night.
Oh, that's not going to be that. I'm going to cut that out. But
I'll always know.
So we recorded the previous segment the same day we did most of our top 10 of 2014 list. The following segment we recorded just a few days afterwards, and it wraps up our 2015 preview. And it's a pretty strong segment, so I'm just going to get out of the way and let you hear it. So, I've separated the movies I want to see in 2015 into separate categories. You know, we've been kind of going through it month by month, but I feel like we're kind of going all over the place. But so my first category is movies I will see on opening weekend. Now, not all these movies are like I expect to be great, but these are movies that I absolutely have to see on opening weekend. I have to know what's going to happen. You know, I have to see for myself, or I really want to see it. Okay. And this is in alphabetical order, no preference. It's hard to rank in terms of what you want to see the most. And some of these I mentioned before. So Avengers 2, obviously. You know, there's kind of
that's a big one.
And I would say that if Avengers 2, maybe it's good. Maybe we're just kind of sick of the news about Marvel. But hey, maybe it turns out to be pretty good, and it'll make us want to see the 3 and 4. And 5, 6, and 17, and Avengers 50.
Is this going to be like the traditional trilogy? Is this 2 of 3? Even though like they have all the side movies, they're going to be having a third one, I guess, in the works? Or
yeah. Oh, yeah. Isn't it called The Infinity War? And it's going to be 2 parts, which is kind of annoying. So it's going to be like Avengers.
So it's like 4 movies, really.
Yeah, Avengers 3 Part 1 and Avengers 3 Part 2.
This is going to go on. These actors are going to get old, especially RDJ. Isn't he the oldest of the group?
Oh, yeah, by a couple of years at least. Mark Ruffalo's just a couple of years younger. But yeah, I mean, who knows how long he can keep that up. He still looks good for his age. So
Yeah. He does fine with that role, and, you know, Hollywood. They'll put enough makeup on to make some people look good. You know, I was just pointing that out there, that he's getting a little old for an action movie.
That's true. But, hey, it makes them a lot of money, and I don't know if they're going to be doing an Iron Man 4 and anything like that, but, you know, I think he's signed up at least till Avengers, the third Avengers movie, so we'll see what happens after that. The next one on my list, what I'm going to see on opening weekend, Chappie. I basically want to see Chappie because, like, Neil Blomkamp is a very promising director. District 9 was great. Elysium was okay, not very good. But I will say...
Expected more.
Yeah, and I will say this, though, is that I'm still in his camp. I'm still in the Blomkamp camp.
You're in the Blanc camp?
The Blom camp. So, I mean, if this turns out to be... I have a feeling this might not be good. It might be great. It might not be great.
You're being really nice right now. I feel like this might not be good.
I'm worried. Like I
just say you think it's going to suck.
It might
just
suck.
Trust your gut.
It might suck a little bit because I don't know. I kind of get this hard. I think it's rated R, but like a hard R.
Yeah, it's R. Yeah.
E.T. I get an E.T. thing coming out of it. You know, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Why does it make you think of E.T.? Because it's like
the trailer is kind of like, you know, there's.
And E.T. was a little boy. This is a grown man, played by Hugh Jackman, right?
Wait, what?
And E.T. was, you know, it's like a kid story about like a kid meeting an alien. Here you have like and it's kind of like how they bond, even though.
Hugh Jackman wants to hunt Chappie down and kill it and destroy it.
Oh, I thought Hugh Jackman was like the lowlife who finds Chappie or something.
No, Dev Patel and
from Slumdog Millionaire.
Slumdog Millionaire.
My sister's actually out in the living room watching Slumdog Millionaire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's kind of so. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Chappie. I'm definitely going to be seeing it next Friday when it comes out, and it should be an interesting one to talk about, even if it's bad or good. So even if
it's bad, is he done?
No, because he's already talked about doing an
Aliens
movie.
Yeah, he's going to be. He's working on an Alien movie. What if this is a complete flop, though? You think the people making Alien are like, never mind?
No, because I think he's shown to be a competent enough director of big budget movies, and it depends on if he's going to write the script himself. Because I think his weakness is in the script department. I think he's a very competent director, and obviously great with visual effects. That's kind of where he got his start. So
yeah, I haven't seen District 9 in forever, but I remember it being a good mix of it's a very original story, original science fiction story, and it was funny. And when I think of it was funny in parts,
Mm-hmm.
I guess more toward the beginning when it was kind of like documentary style, and he just kind of showing how incompetent he is, kind of like The Office.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I guess it gets kind of dark at the end because he's turning into
Mm-hmm.
an alien and stuff. But
yeah,
I'm just wondering how he would take that kind of style and bring it into the very dark world of Alien.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And a part of me also feels that I don't know how much of a vote of confidence it is that he decided to sign. I don't know if he signed on to Alien, but he's definitely circling that project. And
that news came out recently, within the last week.
Yeah. And I think Sigourney Weaver was talking about it. And so yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think I think he's going to be doing the Alien sequel no matter what. But the question is Chappie will he return to original stuff after Chappie? Will it be as good as District 9? Will it be good? Will it at least be good?
Yeah.
Let's not talk about how good, how great it's going to be. Let's make sure it's good first. Right. Moving on. Crimson Peak, Guillermo del Toro. This is a very interesting time in his career, and you got the whole, Jessica Chastain and Tom Hiddleston starring in it, which is great.
People that are kind of at the height of their careers. Hiddleston, I guess, is still rising,
and then
Chastain's kicking ass.
Yeah, Mia Wasikowska, right, is also in it.
Mia Wasikowska. I like her. I've seen her in a couple things.
Mm-hmm. And
I think she came on the scene when she was playing Alice in the Alice in Wonderland, the remake, the live action version, or I should say.
Yeah.
So she came out.
And then she was also in The Kids Are All Right. I think that was her.
All right.
The Julianne Moore
and she also starred opposite Hiddleston in it was number 10 on my top 10 list.
Only Lovers Left Alive.
Only Lovers Left Alive. Thank you.
Yeah. It's
just escaped me.
A couple great actors appearing in it.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in Pacific Rim? And he's also. Does Guillermo del Toro have anything to do with that motorcycle show?
No.
Because two of the guys from that show have worked with del Toro, right? What's the guy's name?
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of del Toro's movies.
Yeah, he's Hellboy, and he was in
Pacific Rim.
That one with Hunman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because this is going to be del Toro's first more serious English language movie. It promised to be kind of in the style of Pan's Labyrinth, but in English language. So that's really exciting to me.
That is exciting. I was thinking about looking back, what's he done? Pacific Rim, Hellboy, those movies are visually impressive, but they didn't. I don't know if they did all that well. They were fun, but it's not really the stuff that makes you say wow.
Yeah,
Pan's Labyrinth made me say wow.
He has this whole different other style to him.
It's weird how he can flip like that. Just make this and make that.
Well, like we talked about with his other Mexicano friends, Cuarón flips like that. He goes from making an intimate drama, Y Tu Mama Tambien, to doing Harry Potter, and then to doing Children of Men, this high concept sci-fi. To doing Gravity, which is a whole other form of science fiction. So those guys, and then you have Iñárritu, who goes from this very harrowing drama and beautiful, and doing something more wacky, more weirder in Birdman. So now he's switching gears again with The Revenant, which is also on my list, but that's in the R section. So
you're saying Mexicans are versatile?
I'm saying these three Mexicans are. Although, and it'll be really cool. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but it'll be really cool to see if Crimson Peak is good enough for Guillermo del Toro to complete the Mexican trilogy.
Did you see me put that on Twitter?
Yeah, I saw that. I totally saw that. Okay,
yeah, it didn't get 33 and 24.
Yeah.
Yours.
Again, we'll talk about my success in the Oscars episode, which is coming up really soon. Okay.
Okay.
We'll just go through these next two. Hateful Eight, okay. Quentin Tarantino, obviously. We talked about that. Night of Cups, Terrence Malick, we talked about that one. Irrational Man, Woody Allen's next movie starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix and Emma Stone.
So that's going to be pretty interesting.
That might be up there with as far as I'm concerned with like what I'm most excited for in 2015, which is weird. I've never been that excited for a Woody Allen film. I love his work, but I've never really like looked forward to his movies coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he seems to have like a good movie every other year. Right now, like it's every other year. So you have Midnight in Paris came out in 2011, Blue Jasmine in 2013, and then this. So hopefully, Irrational Man will continue that every other year streak, or I guess it's kind of a streak. But
hold on, Woody Allen, like he made that one movie with Jesse Eisenberg that wasn't that great. Was that between Midnight in Paris and
Blue Jasmine?
Blue Jasmine.
Yeah, To Rome with Love.
One year he does something good, then not so good, then good, then not so good.
And the thing is, though, like with the not so good movies, there's promise in each of them. There's like you can kind of see where they could be good, but I think a lot of times, like he moves on to the next thing as soon as it's done. So I think when he was younger, he spent a little bit more time really trying to craft them and make them right. But now I just feel like, he hopes that it all comes together in post-production, and if it doesn't, then, well, I already have another movie to work on, so it doesn't really matter. But
it just keeps moving.
Yeah, I think he's just keeping him alive at this point. I think he does this to stay. He's going to be 80 years old this year. So, and he's not stopping, he's not slowing down.
Not slowing down. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Emma Stone, Joaquin Phoenix, Parker Posey I'm familiar with. Who's this kid, Jamie Blackley. Sorry.
Blackley.
What's he been in? Are you familiar with him?
No.
Fifth Estate.
Snow White and the Huntsman. So,
okay.
a newer addition to the...
An up-and-comer.
To the, yeah. All right, so moving on, though. Joy, David O. Russell's next film. I think at this point, I want to see opening week because I am excited about O. Russell and Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper.
And Robert De Niro.
I mean, it is kind of getting a little, all right, come on. All right, can you work with other actors? But you can't complain too much.
Even though De Niro had a really, really small part in American Hustle, I almost said American Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
This is the third time in a row
that
these three have been in this movie.
They must really enjoy working together and what's also promising is that Annie Mumolo co-wrote the screenplay with David O. Russell, and she co-wrote Bridesmaids with Kristen Wiig.
Oh,
so
what's this going to be about?
It's apparently it's about the life of Joy Mangano, who was a single mom who became a successful entrepreneur. I think she invented like a mop. It's really
like something that's sold on TV, like infomercials.
The
Miracle Mop. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
It's the emotionally compelling and often comedic journey of a woman who triumphed over personal and financial challenges by inventing the Miracle Mop, which she sold on QVC and went on to become a hugely successful entrepreneur. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's her name? Annie Momolo. So there's the humor. David Russell. He's written funny stuff too. So this is gonna be maybe on the funnier side.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, hopefully. What's been the common knock against O. Russell lately has been just kind of the overall, and I agree with this. Like his first few movies, and I'll compare this to like a number 2 pencil. I feel like he kind of wrote with a sharp pencil, but as the last couple of movies gone on, it's gotten duller and duller. I'm not saying the movies are dull, but I'm saying like it's not. There's no edginess. There's no weirdness to his movies. You get like I Heart Huckabees like the really peak of his weirdness, and then 6 years go by. He had that movie Nailed, which kind of came out at this point, but he just owned it. That's a whole other. I'm sure that's a whole other discussion at some point.
It's called Nail? I've never even heard of this.
No, it was called Nailed, and then they changed the title to Accidental Love, and it actually came out on video on demand this year. But they shot it in 2008. And it's Jake Gyllenhaal and
I see it here.
Jessica Biel and James Marsden and Catherine Keener and
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan and
nice.
James.
But it never came out because he wasn't happy with it.
Well, because they never finished it. There was one more scene that they were supposed to finish, and it was a very crucial scene in the film. But like financing kept dropping out, and then it just got to the point where he just quit the film.
Oh my god! So he was just like, "We're not going to make this movie anymore."
I mean, yeah. If you think about it, like he made Huckabees in 2004, and then this movie they were shooting it in 2008, and then 2 years go by, and they're still not done with it. And he's not a young man at this point. He's gotten even older since, obviously. He was like 57, 56 now, 56, yeah. So he's not getting any younger, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make The Fighter, and that's how he got his career.
Yeah, kind of like a second win.
Mm-hmm. But so the question will be like, I can understand because like my second viewing of American Hustle wasn't as sharp as the first viewing. I will say that.
Yeah. I liked it, but then it's not really anything that I really want to see again.
Yeah, it's a fun film, but I think he has to have a little bit more. If he wants to, I think people are going to be more privy to his tricks. You know what I mean? I certainly will be.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of see, second time around watching American Hustle, you're kind of like, oh. I mean, there is a lot of fun dialogue and stuff like that, but the story isn't really that strong. And I was defending it against, like, Goodfellas, the whole... A lot of people were
they were knocking it because he was, like, it seemed like he was trying to emulate Scorsese.
And I didn't agree at first, but second time around, I still don't like necessarily fully agree, but I do feel like it is trying to be something else. Like it's I don't know. It's a strange. It's kind of strange because you kind of see David O. Russell's voice in there, but it's like David O. Russell maybe imitating Scorsese a little bit. I can see that. For sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking back at his stuff, like Silver Linings Playbook. I find myself liking that a lot more than American Hustle. Looking back, and The Fighter too.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much The Fighter. I think I like Silver Linings Playbook more than The Fighter. But I mean, it's a good movie, American Hustle. But hopefully, Joy goes in a better direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Moving on. This one doesn't have. Yeah, I should have a more gracious way of saying that, but because I want to get through this. This one doesn't have a release date, but it was shot. I think it was finished this past fall, so I would have to imagine it's either going to be premiere at Cannes or it's
talking about Joy.
No. Oh no.
Oh.
I'm moving on to my next one on my list. But this is from Derek Cian-France, who's made Place Beyond the Pines and Blue Valentine. This is The Light Between Oceans, and this is going to be a really interesting one. Michael Fassbender is in it, so Cian-France and Fassbender. I'm already in.
I'm on board, exactly.
Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, Rachel Weisz. I don't know how you say that.
Alicia Vikander? I've never heard of this person.
Yeah, well, I think she's an Australian actress because it's set in Australia. I think it's set in Australia, isn't it? Oh, she's Swedish. Never mind. But I think the book takes place in Australia, as far as I know, and so it might be a change of pace for Cian-France. Although it's kind of hard to say that because he made a movie in like the '90s that no one saw. So basically, he got his start with Blue Valentine, and so it's kind of hard to say change of pace because after 2 movies, you don't really know what he's going to be yet or who he is yet. But he do has a knack for making really great dramas. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited about this film.
The story says it's a lighthouse keeper and his wife living off the coast of Western Australia raise a baby that they rescue from an adrift rowboat.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean...
Fassbender and Cian-France, yeah, that's really all you got to say for you and me, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I think what's great about Cian-France is that he brings a real rawness. Like, with Ryan Gosling, he was able to bring a really raw performance in both Place Beyond the Pines and Blue Valentine, and I gotta say, The Place Beyond the Pines came out before... Oh, no, right after Silver Linings Playbook. But I was more impressed with Bradley Cooper as the cop in Place Beyond the Pines than I was with Silver Linings Playbook or even American
That
Hustle.
role got kind of overlooked completely, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get any attention for that. I mean, Gosling's role was pretty small in it.
Mm-hmm.
He had the first part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The second part was all about Cooper, and then the third part was all about their kids.
I
didn't.
Yeah.
Did you know that going into that? I don't want to spend too much time talking about Place Beyond the Pines, but really interesting filmmaking.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic drama. I think that a lot of people will. I understand that like the third act, the third part, isn't quite as strong as the first two, but for me, it didn't ruin the movie overall for me. I thought it was still a very gut wrenching drama, and I thought it was fantastic. But and obviously I liked it enough because I really want to see his next film. So I'm totally on board the Sion Franz train, and obviously Fassbender is he's the best. All right, so next one, Mad Max Fury Road. I think I've decided this one, at least in the summer. I'm looking forward to this movie the most, more than Avengers 2.
Your favorite summer pick?
You know what? And if you had told me before the trailers came out, I probably wouldn't have agreed. I probably wouldn't have said that before the trailers came out. But whoa! I mean, this one looks wild. You know, it looks unhinged, and I'm ready for that. I'm ready for this one to just kind of like be fucking awesome. You know?
Yeah, dude. I think the coolest thing about this is that it's the director from the originals that's coming back to just do it again. Like so many times you see these cool franchises from back in the day. And, the studios just want to make money off of it. And I'm sure a studio wants to make money off this too. But, like, it's not like they're just saying, here's this movie. People know the name of the movie. Mm. Why don't you take it and try to make it again? Or make it a movie for this generation. Mm. This is him going back and, I guess, adding to the story. And now with Tom Hardy playing that role that Mel Gibson used to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's exciting. I mean, I've never seen that before, where the original director's taken on this franchise from over 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's maybe Spielberg, but George Miller doesn't exactly have the same cachet as Steven Spielberg. So it's.
What with Indiana Jones?
Yeah, with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to spend too much time on that one because I want to talk about Midnight Special, the next Jeff Nichols movie. I
know nothing about it.
Surprising because you like
I love Mike
Take
Nichols.
Shelter.
Jeff Nichols. I just called him Mike Nichols.
Mike Nichols. No relation, but we both enjoyed Mud, and this one more fantastical. It's more of a it's a science fiction film.
What's the storyline here? Do you have it in front of you? Because I've been reading all the storylines so far. I'll let you read one.
Okay, I'll read the storyline. If there is, okay, it's pretty basic. But a father and son go on the run after the dad learns his child possesses special powers. I mean, kind of.
Well, let's see. There's a little element to like weird stuff like that in
Take Shelter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have you seen that yet?
I still haven't seen it.
Okay, gotta see that.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Shannon back again.
Kirsten Dunst.
Hey, I'm not the biggest Kirsten Dunst fan, but hopefully he's able to get something out of her that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't. I'm kind of turned off by her when I watch her in movies. She kind of rubs me the wrong way. I don't know what it is about her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like her? Or like
she's never my favorite part in any movie. I mean, she's been in some good movies, but she's never my favorite part. No.
Yeah, right. She like holds her own, I guess, but she's never. I'm never like, oh yeah, I remember when Kirsten Dunst said this one thing. Yeah,
but you know what? It really depends on for any actor or actress. It really depends on who they're working with. So, I mean, at the time when Matthew McConaughey was assigned to Mud, no one really knew what he was going to be. No one knew it was the McConaissance. You know what I mean? And then all this
is that what they're calling it officially?
That word's been around for that word.
I don't know how I haven't heard that. I'm on the internet every day looking at stuff and reconnaissance. I can't believe that escaped me. That's pretty good.
It's too bad Matthew McConaughey can't come here and explain it to you more. But I guess he's not.
Well, Ken, maybe if I had a movie coming out this year, I'd have something to say.
All right, fine. But yeah, Jeff Nichols, great cast. Michael Shannon's back.
Adam Driver, one of my favorite young actors working.
Yeah. And did we mention? Yeah, it's Star Wars, right? He's also in the next Star Wars movie. He's in
He's also in that movie that you're looking for that we mentioned last time we spoke.
While We're Young.
Yeah, Noah Baumbach.
Yeah, so I mean, great cast, great director.
Yeah, this one looks good.
Looks good. And it comes out in November 25th. So that's pretty cool. That already has like a set release date and everything like that. I already mentioned Mistress America and Baumbach. Oh, Mistress America and While We're Young. 2 Baumbach films, 2 films I'm really excited about. The Revenant with the next Inarritu movie. Could be a big Oscar player, I think, next year. But I wonder how big it'll be. I don't think the Oscar... If it's good enough, I don't think the Oscars will be like, well, Birdman was awarded last year, then... we're not going to...
Yeah.
Although
hopefully not, but, I mean, if it's a good... I just want DiCaprio to finally get his, his acting statue.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Because he's been doing it for so long, so well, he deserves it. And if this movie's going to be all about him, with Tom Hardy as the, antagonist, it should be able to get some good stuff. Because Hardy is such an intense actor. He's going to bring something out of DiCaprio. I can sense
and honestly, we're just really waiting for Tom Hardy to get that role that has a high enough profile attached to it, because that's all it's going to take for him to win every award possible. Because if Bronson or Locke had a lot more attention than they got, he would have ran away with over fucking Eddie Redmayne. Come on, he could. I thought Eddie Redmayne was great in Stephen Hawking and as Stephen Hawking in Theory of Everything. But Tom Hardy is just on another planet. I
just think Locke is a more, rather, Theory of Everything is a more digestible story than Locke is. Locke could turn some people off.
I don't know. Locke.
I loved it. Yeah, but I could totally see how some people would be like, okay, he's in a car and he's got this girl and he knocked her up and he's doing the right thing. So what? I
didn't get that he was ever doing the right thing. I didn't think it was a right or wrong thing. I think it was the
right thing by her. That was. I mean,
I guess we should have maybe talked about it in another.
I wasn't just saying that that's how my interpretation of the movie. I was just saying how I could see how some people might say that.
Well, you know what, Justin? I can't see it. So if you think that's how if that's what you got out of this movie, listeners.
You don't think the Theory of Everything's more accessible than Locke?
Is it more accessible? Sure, but is it undeniable that Hardy is better than... What I'm saying is that, okay, so in a slightly more accessible form of a movie, if Hardy gave that type of performance, he would because he just blows everything out of the water. Anything that he's in, he just blows people away. He blows me away.
Hardy's time is coming. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's not a household name yet, but if he's in a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and this guy Inarritu who just won the best director and best picture, then it's only a matter of time now before everybody and their mother knows who Tom Hardy is. Mm-hmm. Which is good. Good for him. I hope the same thing happens for Fassbender. Me
too. Okay, so Spectra is pretty obvious. Next James Bond movie.
Oh yeah, that's Spectre, I think is how you pronounce that one.
Spectra. Spectre or Spectra?
I think it's Spectre.
Inspector?
Let's see, what's the definition of a Spectre?
It is a special executive for counterintelligence, terrorism, revenge, and extortion. That's what it means. Is it based on...
it's pronounced Spectre. It means a ghost, actually. That's pretty cool.
Oh, really?
But, yeah.
A cryptic message from an unlikely source sets James Bond navigating the layers of a sinister organization known as Spectre. As M continues fighting political pressures that threaten the future of MI6, Bond draws closer to uncovering a hidden truth that threatens to destroy everything he has fought to protect.
And Daniel Craig, of course, but Ray Fiennes coming back to play M. Christoph Waltz is the bad guy.
I mean, I forgot about that. I mean, okay, hopefully he's good, but hope it's not like, all right, James Bond, we're going to Wunderkind.
Well, if Tarantino was directing it, maybe. But, yeah, I guess he does have that going against him. I didn't see Big Eyes. Did you?
I saw some clips. he was like, all right, Amy Adams, I know you drew these pictures, but I'm going to take credit for them, so that's what you're going to have to deal with, Wunderkind. I swear.
Did his movie with, oh my god, Monty Python, what's his name, Brazil.
Oh, right, yeah, I haven't seen that at all, Zero Theorem you're talking about, but it was kind of like, there's all these theorems, and not one, not two, but zero, okay, guys? Wunderkind.
So you're obviously not as...
No, I kind of like him, I'm weary of him. I'm weary. That's what I'll say. So, especially as a villain, I'm just kind of... I want to see a different flavor of Christoph Waltz.
Well, hopefully you get that here. You know, his... yeah, that's why I wasn't too crazy about him winning for his role in Django, because it was essentially...
It's the same thing.
The same guy, just in a different light. You know, he's a good guy this time instead of a bad guy. Mm-hmm. And that's just, put in layman's terms. But
thank you.
Yeah. Christoph Waltz, I like him, but yeah, I am kind of chomping at the bit to see him do something different.
Okay, so this one's going to be kind of interesting. St. James Place, spy thriller from Stephen Spielberg, with Tom Hanks, Amy Ryan, Alan Alda, and that's pretty much the notable names in the film. But
the Coen brothers.
Eve Hewson, Mark Rylance, and Billy Magnuson. If I have to say everybody's name, but it's based on the 1960 U2 incident, not Bono. The Edge and Bono had nothing to do with this. But
I thought you said YouTube incident.
U2. When U2 plane was shot down in Soviet airspace. A United States spy plane was shot down. A Cold War type film. Joe and Ethan Coen co-wrote the script.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be...
Kind of reminds me of what happened pretty recently in the news a couple months ago when that plane was shot down.
Right.
The plane over... But that was a commercial plane. But, I don't know, this will probably make people think of that. I don't know, it just made me think of that.
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah. St. James Place. Steven Spielberg, what's the last thing he's done?
Lincoln.
Lincoln?
Yeah.
Has it been that long since Spielberg has done his...
that was 2012. I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
It seems like a while ago. I don't know. Maybe I've just watched way more movies than I
It was a fair amount of time that's taken place. I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson has been able to make a movie in a quicker amount of time than Spielberg has, but I mean, and hey, I really enjoyed Lincoln. And you know what, with Spielberg though,
Oh, sorry.
With Spielberg, though, it's really about the material, and I think he could. This is something that I think he could knock out of the park if it's good enough. If the Coens wrote it, if Tom Hanks, I think Tom Hanks is at his best when he's working with Spielberg. So I think this is gonna again probably another big Oscar player. I'm not sure if Spielberg if they're gonna want to award him again, but if it's good enough. You never know.
I'm just looking at the if you want to know what's happening in movies in the next 5 years, just look at or maybe the next year or two. Just look at Spielberg on IMDb. His producer credit, his director credit. You got Gremlins remake coming out. They're making a new Tintin. That's cool. I mean, I'm looking a little further in the future than next year. They're making another Indiana Jones. Really?
I heard that. I heard that they've been talking about Chris Pratt starring in that, but
they're gonna cast Shia away, huh?
I would hope so. But
and then the BFG. Remember that book by Roald Dahl?
Yeah, is he gonna be directing?
He's gonna direct that. Looks like it. Yeah, it's in pre-production.
He's gonna direct that shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's gonna be, but same James Place. We'll see. I like that he's interested in doing those types of movies now. It seems like he doesn't want to really make the tentpole stuff anymore, which he doesn't need to. He doesn't need. What more does he have to do in that department?
Maybe he's like that. It's his name is enough of a tentpole. Like not by the traditional definition of that, like how people.
Yeah, I know what you were saying.
But his name gets people's attention.
I mean, he got Lincoln managed to gross how much money in the box office? $275 million in the box office. I mean, that's hard to do, to get people to see presidential drama. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Day-Lewis, by far, that's going to be the highest grossing film of his career. So, sure. Yeah. All right, so let me just wrap up.
Well, I was just trying to say though, like, before we move on though, like it's nice to see that maybe Spielberg is saying like my name is enough, so maybe I will use that to make some movies that I want to make that maybe people wouldn't necessarily see.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like he's been doing that for a while though. I think that I think his name has been big enough since Schindler's List at least. I mean, it's been he's the one director everyone knows. Everyone knows.
He didn't even want to make Schindler's List.
Right. Yeah. He was hesitant because
he was trying to give that one away. He was trying to give it to a bunch of people.
Yeah. Billy Wilder, Stanley Kubrick.
Give it to Scorsese.
Roman Polanski.
Roman Polanski. That was the one he tried.
Anything else? Did he give it to Scorsese? I remember he and Scorsese switched projects, and Scorsese got Cape Fear, and Spielberg got, was it Schindler's List?
I don't think so. I think
do you know what I'm talking about?
No. This is the first time I'm hearing about that. What I was talking about was just that I was looking at the behind the scenes stuff for Schindler's List, and I remember him saying that he thought it was too heavy because he was coming off of lighter fare.
Yeah,
and he wanted to maybe give it to somebody else in more capable hands in his eyes because he didn't know if he was capable of doing that kind of a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying that he and Scorsese switched movies? That's kind of cool.
I think so, because he gave... Right. Yeah, he offered the film to Sidney Pollack and Martin Scorsese. Scorsese was attached to Directioner's List in 1988. However, Spielberg was unsure of letting Scorsese direct the film, as I'd given away a chance to do something for my children and family about the Holocaust. Spielberg offered him the chance to direct a 1991 remake of Cape Fear instead. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting.
They are related, okay.
And I think Spielberg actually produced Cape Fear, which is also pretty interesting. All right, so yeah,
I'm learning so much today.
To wrap up my opening weekend thing, I think we've talked plenty about Star Wars. Steve Jobs, even though it's not Fincher, and even though it's not Christian Bale as Steve Jobs. Yeah. I mean, it still looks pretty...
If it was, I think it might be even... I mean, it might be up there for me. It might be my most look forward to movie. Mm. Just because him reuniting, with... God, fucking... I'm so bad with names today. But him reuniting with...
Aaron Sorkin.
Aaron Sorkin, thank you. The writer.
Mm-hmm.
The writer of The Social Network. Those two getting together again would be enough for me to be like, all right, I'm there, I'm in, this is it. Mm-hmm. But, Danny Boyle's good. Danny Boyle's a good guy.
Yeah, Danny Boyle's a really solid director, so...
Oh, hey, and there he is, Michael Fassbender. Maybe that'll be what gets him
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to get him a Best Actor nomination. I'm saying that right now. So, either get on board or shut the fuck up.
I like that.
You also got Kate Winslet, Sarah Snook, who I have no idea who that is, but hey, that's a great last name. Seth Rogen, Jeff Daniels, Catherine Waterston, Michael Stolberg. He was in A Serious Man. Yeah. Pretty great cast. So Rogen will be Steve Wozniak, and which is kind of interesting because it's like the Jobs movie with Ashton Kutcher was like...
Yeah, I was just saying, it just came out.
Well, yeah, but it's like this movie hopefully will be the one that makes you forget that other movie even exists, right?
Yeah. Did you see? I never saw that one.
Yeah, I saw it. It's Ashton Kutcher playing Steve. What do you need to know? What do you need to know about Ashton Kutcher playing Steve Jobs? That that he's terrible in it? Yes, he's not a good actor. He's not a good dramatic actor.
Poor guy.
Fuck him.
Oh, you're heartless. Hey, Catherine Waterston.
Yeah.
Catherine Waterston, Jeff Daniels, Seth Rogen, Sarah Snook. Yeah, that is a great last name. Kate Winslet.
Yep.
And Michael Fassbender. I like this cast. I'm excited.
I think it's a good cast.
It's a good cast.
All right, here's one that's going to be interesting. Okay. He's on quite the streak, the winning streak. This director. Richard Linklater is who I'm talking about. And his movie's called That's What I'm Talking About. And it's kind of a spiritual sequel to both Boyhood and Dazed and Confused. And it follows the lives... It's set in the early 1980s, and it follows the lives of college freshmen who are also baseball players. And with that, you know, he wrote it and he's directing it. And, you know, however he tackles this material... I just think he's on an incredible role right now with Bernie. Even going back to Bernie with Jack Black and Matthew McConaughey was also a great little drama. Then he went from that to Before Midnight and Boyhood, and yeah, so he's just kind of on fire right now. And so obviously, this one is going to be a must see for me because it's going to be interesting to see for third year in a row because he made Before Midnight in 2013, Boyhood in 2014. After 12 years of shooting it, and then That's What I'm Talking About. You know, boom, he gets right back into it. Which I'm
intrigued that I'm looking at this cast and I don't recognize any of these names. That's interesting to me.
When Dazed and Confused came out, no one knew who any of those actors were. So I think that's
crazy, huh? That's awesome.
And you look at the cast. I mean, from Dazed and Confused, you know, you had Matthew McConaughey's first role,
Ben
Affleck's one of his first roles. Renee Zellweger in a bit part.
Anthony Rapp, who's more popular on Broadway, but you know he was in Rent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was surprised to see him. Yeah, Adam Goldberg. You said.
Did I say Adam Goldberg, who has kind of played that character ever since? He's always been like, I'm kind of a live wire, kind of thing. Parker Posey, after she made Dazed and Confused, she was like the '90s indie it girl. Like, I feel like Parker Posey was in every indie comedy. For like the next 10 years, and then kind of like same thing with Eric Stoltz. Although he wasn't in Dazed and Confused, I felt like if Eric Stoltz was in the film, Parker Posey was, and I'm pretty sure they. Yeah. So yeah, and then Jory Lauren Adams, who's kind of fallen off.
Even Forrest Whitaker.
Giovanni Ribisi's sister, Marissa Ribisi, is also in it, who's married to Beck. Yes. Kind of interesting Scientology connection there.
Are they Scientologists?
Yep. Beck, Giovanni Ribisi, and his sister are all Scientologists. We're saying all kinds of things here in this podcast.
Jason London, like he was kind of the guy from that movie, and did he have much of a career after that?
Well, he has a twin brother, Jeremy London, and I always get those two confused. And I think one of them was in Mallrats. I don't know if it was Jason London or Jeremy London, but one of them was in Mallrats. I think one of them got arrested recently. I think it was Jeremy London. Where's his? I can't find Jeremy London's page. I thought I would just see it. Oh, here it is. I'm pretty sure Jeremy London's like the one who's getting arrested and stuff like that. Kidnapping incident. He was kidnapped. What? All right, this is.
He was kidnapped?
He was addicted to drugs, and so Jeremy London is the one who gets in all kinds of trouble, and Jason London's the one who's kind of had a decent career.
Yeah, he's working. He's just not like famous or overly famous.
Oh, no, you can't forget Rory Cochrane, who played the stoner in Dazed and Confused, and then he's got a whole career. I mean, it's like he was in Argo, he was in Public Enemies, he was in. I think he's mostly known for TV. He's been on CSI Miami for 50 episodes, and yeah, he's kind of had like a little career for himself going on too.
Who was he in Argo? Because I don't remember saying, "Oh, that's him from Dazed and Confused." I don't remember seeing.
He was in a lot of makeup. If you Google Rory Cochrane and Argo, you'd be like, "Holy shit!" Because he looks so. He was the one with the big mustache and.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that's him.
I told you.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Oh, here's a fun fact you probably didn't know, but Renee Zellweger was in Dazed and Confused in an uncredited role.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think
information you'll never need.
I thought I mentioned that, but
oh, did you?
Who knows?
No, sorry.
Okay, so let me just I told you I had other categories, but I'll just kind of wrap this up. So there's my other categories are we'll see in theater. Hopefully, I'll see in theaters at some point. My other category is maybe I'll catch up with it. Maybe I won't see it in theaters. And then the other one's intrigue. I'll just go through the ones I still kind of want to see in theaters, I'll do like 10 at a time. That way we can just get through this faster. Okay.
You got it, dude.
So, thanks, Michelle from Full House. Cameron Coe's Aloha, Black Mask, Scott Cooper directed. Todd Haynes is Carol. He directed I'm Not There and Far From Heaven, which I think is Julianne Moore's best performance. She should have won an Oscar for that role. But Carol stars Kate Blanchett. And if you saw I'm Not There, you would see that she and Todd Haynes have a great relationship, director, actress. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Demolition.
I'm sorry, I was reading about Black Mass as you were talking. What movie you were just talking about?
Carol, Todd Haynes. Todd Haynes is Carol. I just mentioned a whole bunch of things about it.
No, I was kind of like half listening. I'm sorry, but I was just like intrigued by Black Mass because of the cast.
Yeah.
Cumberbatch, Johnny Depp, Sienna Miller, Dakota Johnson, who's in the news because of Shades Grey.
Yeah.
Juno Temple, Adam Scott, Peter Sarsgaard, Kevin Bacon. This is interesting, Corstal. I don't know anything about Scott Cooper though. What else is he doing?
Crazy Heart and
Out of the
Furnace.
There you go. And holy shit, Austin Powers, is that for real?
What?
He's got a credit for The Spy Who Shagged Me. Was he the director?
No, Jay Roach was the director. I'm sure he was just like a small thing that he was a part
he
of.
was one of those. He was acted in it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
it's like you see Crazy Heart, Out of the Furnace, and then Austin Powers. It's like, okay, one of these.
He was a Klansman's son.
Okay. All right. Sorry to get off topic here. To throw you off there. So you were talking about
Carol from Todd Haynes. I don't know if you've seen Far From Heaven or I'm Not There, the Bob Dylan film.
I did see I'm Not There.
Yeah, which is kind of all over the place, but kind of fun to watch also.
Yeah.
But this one looks to be more in the tradition of Far From Heaven, which I think is a fantastic drama, which came out in 2002 with Julianne Moore and Dennis fucking Quaid and
He should just introduce himself that way everywhere he goes.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think Carol has a great cast. We talked about how this past year was a really good year for actresses, but Carol alone has Rooney Mara, Kate Blanchett, Sarah Paulson, who's really come alive the past couple of years. She was in 12 Years a Slave, and she's on American Horror Story. Kyle Chandler, who's also he just seems to be in every Oscar nominated film lately. At least last year he was. And then you have Carrie Brownstein, who is Portlandia, which is kind of cool.
Sweet.
So yeah, pretty interesting cast. And again, if you haven't seen Far From Heaven, I really suggest you do, because the style, the colors, and it's a really great drama. It's just a really great drama. And
you ever listen to Carrie Brownstein's band, Sleater Kinney?
Yeah,
they got a new album out.
Mm-hmm. I haven't heard they did something new, right? They have a new album.
New album that just came out this past year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at. Sorry, I'm all over the place here. Far From Heaven though. I've seen that poster. I've never seen the movie though.
Yeah, it's pretty great, and it has the styles of a 1950s melodrama.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, just the poster looks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really suggest that you see. You'll be surprised. It really kind of it's in the tradition of Douglas Sirk films from the 50s, and it's great. It's one of my favorite films of the 2000s for sure. Cool. Which maybe one day we should do the 2000s, but that'd be interesting. Moving on though.
Yeah, I don't like rushing, but I hear what you're saying. I don't want to.
I will list the rest of this category. All right. Jean-Marc Vallée's Demolition. He did Wild and Dallas Buyers Club. He's back 3 years in a row with a new movie.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Naomi Watts, Chris Cooper.
End of the Tour. I already mentioned that. That came out at Sundance. Jason Segel, first serious role. Yada yada yada. Here's a couple of foreign language films. Erin, Erran. I don't know how you pronounce that. I don't know if it's French, but Jacques Audiard's Erin. Jacques Audiard directed A Prophet, which is one of my favorite foreign language films the past couple of years, which came out in 2009. And then he also made Rust and Bone with Marion Cotillard a couple of years ago, which I think was another fantastic film. And so I don't really know much about the film itself, but I want to see his movie. I like his movies. Flash Mob from Michael Haneke. Now with these foreign films, like it's kind of hard to see them opening day because they're kind of hard. They have like a slow release strategy. But Flash Mob, I mean, listen, Michael Haneke's, when it comes to directors in general, he's kind of a must-see director now. I mean, he has been for a while, but after The White Ribbon and Amour, which came out a couple years ago and was nominated for a couple of Oscars. I mean, not just foreign language, but he was nominated for Best Picture and Best Director and Best Actress. I mean, he's getting legend status almost, because he's just kind of this old, heavily bearded, white-haired character who makes these serious, really serious, dark, kind of bleak type dramas, but they're must-sees. And like, I'm not even a huge fan of Haneke's style per se, but when he hits, like, I feel really bizarrely affected by his films. So Flash Mob. I'm not really. Again, there's not much information. It's kind of hard to get information out of like foreign language films as far as what they're about. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing what Haneke's up to this time around. That probably will come out and premiere in Cannes. Jonas Cuarón, the son of Alfonso Cuarón, is coming out with which is a spiritual sequel apparently, or a spiritual related to Gravity. Because remember, he co-wrote Gravity with his father, and this is Forsaken. And again, not much is known about the film as of now, but this is going to be his first film. It's going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table as opposed to his father.
It's called Forsaken. I'm having a hard time seeing these movies, maybe because they're foreign movies, but I guess they're not on IMDb.
Forsaken? Is it on?
I see one.
Forsaken. It's also called Desierto. That's the Spanish translation. I think it's going to be in Spanish. Yeah, because Gael Garcia Bernal stars in it.
Okay, there it is. Desierto, which means deserted. I want to guess.
Oh yeah, Forsaken.
Okay.
Just kind of the same idea. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Alfonso Cuarón's son can do. What he can bring to the table. All right, here's a couple of big budget films. Jurassic World. I'm curious. Man from U.N.C.L.E. Again, we've mentioned that. Man from U.N.C.L.E., the Guy Ritchie film.
Oh, okay, yeah, the one that's spelled out, right.
The Martian, Ridley Scott doing sci-fi.
I hope that's cool.
With Matt Damon. So that'll be interesting.
I hope that's a good movie.
Mockingjay Part 2. Felix Seymour Hoffman's last ever role. That's going to be done. That's it. Terminator Genesis, Tomorrowland. And Miles Ahead. Miles Davis biopics. Directed by Don Cheadle. And starring. He's going to be starring and directing. If it comes out to be halfway decent.
You're kidding, right?
No,
about the pronunciation.
Don Cheadle from Seattle.
Okay, good. Sometimes you scare me.
Cheetos. Don Cheadle?
Cheetos.
Cheadle?
That one's not on that fucking... What's the matter? It's not on IMDb either. It's called Miles Ahead.
It is. Don Cheadle.
There it is. Ewan McGregor, Don Cheadle.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by Don Cheadle.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, sometimes with these types of movies, though, when like it's a biopic and he he's going to direct it and star in it, you kind of hope that he's not doing a little bit too much, because that's a really ambitious undertaking there. But hey, that could be it.
I wonder if he has like a personal connection. He's a big fan. Are you a fan of Miles Davis? You like?
Yeah, I think
like the jazz.
I like to sit back and relax and
I love Miles Davis. Kind of Blue. That's a great album. That's the one that everybody knows. But that's good stuff.
I like Bitches Brew.
Bitches Brew is great. That's an awesome album.
Yeah.
Do they have the rights to it? I hope it's not another thing where, like, Andre 3000 made the Jimi Hendrix movie, but they didn't have the rights to any of the music.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. But hopefully they're able to make something good out of it, because I definitely want to see a Miles Davis biopic, you know.
Sure.
And I want to see what Don Cheadle can do with it, and hey, maybe that'll be another big player in the Oscars, you know. So
maybe, I know he hasn't. I mean, he does the part of War Machine from the Iron Man movies and from Avengers. So it looks like he's going to be in that. But aside from that, I know he was on TV for a little bit. He was doing the show on Showtime, something about sharks or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is the kind of stuff that Academy members will eat.
You like to see that really going.
They like biopics. They made that pretty clear. Although I don't think Miles Davis had any debilitating conditions. That would really help if Miles Davis had a disease of some sort, because then
he was black in the '60s.
There you go. Oh, so was Martin Luther King, and that didn't get that many nominations. I don't know. All right. Okay, and then 99 Homes with Andrew Garfield looks pretty interesting. From
is it spelled out?
What?
Is it spelled out or is it numerical?
99 Homes with Andrew Garfield. Really got a lot of buzz, a lot of great buzz out of Toronto Film Festival, and it's coming out this summer, I think, or this summer, or like in May. And Michael Shannon, Andrew Garfield, Laura Dern, James Guidry, who's my brother. I'm just kidding. That's the first time I've ever seen an actor with the last name Guidry, but really? That's pretty cool. Raymond Bahrani directed it, and did a couple of solid indies in the 2000s. So, yeah, definitely interested in that. And then finally, aside from, I think it's mentioned Terminator Genesis and Tomorrowland, finally, Sicario, which is the new film from Denis Villeneuve, who made Prisoners and Enemy. He's kind of interesting career going on for himself. So I think it's going to be another American-made film, because he's from Canada, so sometimes he makes French Canadian films. I don't know.
Oh, what's his name?
Denis Villeneuve. You've seen Prisoners, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and pretty good cast. Emily Blunt, Benicio del Toro, Josh Brolin, John Berthal from Fury and Wolf of Wall Street. I'm looking forward to that. So,
okay.
And you know what? There's other movies coming out in 2015 that look pretty interesting, but I'm going to end it right there. They'll come up in the future, I'm sure. Yeah. And I think we've mentioned plenty of films. So, for anyone out there, I will say that there's as far as Oscars are concerned, if this comes out if this comes out this year, this could be a major player next year for next year's Oscars. Tom Hooper's The Danish Girl. Tom Hooper made Les Miserables and King's Speech, and now he's making The Danish Girl, which I think has to do with transgender issues. So, what I'm worried about is if Hooper's... this might be coming out in 2016, but who knows? They're filming it right now, so who knows what could happen. Eddie Redmayne is starring in it.
And he's going to play the person who's trans, because it looks like he's playing a man and a woman character names.
Yeah, so I think if this movie comes out in time, if it could be a major player, either for this year's upcoming Oscars.
This little fucker's trying to go 2 for 2.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what he can do. I mean, it's kind of easy to knock on him because he's so young, and let's face it. I mean, playing Stephen Hawking, you're gonna get some attention with the awards. Yeah. You have to know. As long as you do a decent job.
If you do a good job.
Yeah. And he did a great job, and it's a solid performance.
Yeah, I watched it last night.
And we'll talk more about it in our Oscar show. But you know what? I'm definitely looking forward to 2015. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how good of a year it is compared to others. The blockbusters are concerned, I'm literally only looking forward to, really only looking forward to 2 blockbusters.
Let me guess.
Star Wars and Fury. Mad Max.
I won't guess them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that was pretty. It was pretty obvious, but I don't know. What do you think about 2015? What are your hopes and dreams and yada yada?
I don't know. I hope you get to the movies. Hope to get to see the stuff that that it excited me just now.
Mm-hmm.
You threw a lot of movies out there. I haven't really been too up on 2015. Been trying to get caught up for 2014 because there's still so much that I want to see from the past.
It's
year.
part of the fun, though, isn't it? I mean, like, looking
yeah.
forward to Inherent Vice the past couple of years. I mean, like, it's like, okay, that movie's over. Now it's time to latch on to the next thing. And to me, like, the next like Inherent Vice type movie that I'm following would have to be the Hateful Eight.
Revenant?
You know, like
Hateful Eight, yeah.
or The Revenant, yeah. But definitely the Hateful Eight because it's Tarantino, and who knows how many more movies he's going to be making in his career. So any movie that he makes,
I don't buy that
now,
for a second that he's going to stop making movies, though. I think he'd get bored.
I heard he says he wants to write. He says he wants to like do criticism books and stuff like that. Who knows? I mean, if
I'm sure he might be able to make a living doing that because I mean, I enjoyed his YouTube video where he's talking about There Will Be Blood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's got a unique perspective. He's definitely a movie fan, I think, first, even before he's a writer or a director. He's a lover of movies. So maybe he's good just hanging out in his giant mansion, watching movies with his very expensive projector, surrounded by beautiful women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. And I think that's a good way to wrap up this entire episode of episodes probably 10 and 11 at this point. We did our top 10 of the 2014, and we recapped, or we're not recap, but we're pre-capping 2015. And so, it's going to be an exciting year. I'm glad we're kind of done with 2014 at this point. We'll be officially done with it after we talk about the Oscars, which will be the next episode. So stay tuned for that, everybody. And for the long take, I'm Ken Guidry, out in California.
All right, and I'm Justyn, and you'll see us again real soon. You won't see us, but you'll hear us.
Yeah, you'll hear us.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Take it easy.